Yeah. Are you a citizen?
My mom's a citizen.
Your mother's a citizen,
Yes.
but you're not?
Nope.
Your eyes and ears do not deceive you. That is Dr. Phil McGraw talking to a detained illegal immigrant who is about to be deported, surrounded by a bunch of ICE agents. What is happening?
What's your name?
Seda.
Seda what? You have a first and last name.
Sam.
Seda Sam?
Yes.
How did we arrive at this situation as a society? Look, I got nothing against Dr. Phil. Some kids just gotta go to the ranch, okay?
There is a place that I have great confidence in called Turnabout Ranch.
And I have nothing against ICE agents just doing their job. Some kids gotta go to the ranch.
Send them to the ranch. It cures. We don't know the success rate of the ranch, to be honest, but we need to send the kids to the ranch.
But it's the combination of the two that really have me troubled. I like Daniel Naroditsky's highly instructive chess videos. I also like Ariana Grande's 2014 hit single Break Free, but I don't want those things together at the same time in the same way. That just makes my head confused.
This is the part when I say I don't want it. I'm stronger than I've been before. This is the part when I break free, 'cause I can't resist it no more.
But whether or not this is the crossover we asked for, it's a crossover that we, as a society, most certainly deserve. So let's get started. Interaction reminder, like and subscribe, smash that like button.
Where are you from?
Where I was born or where I'm from?
Man, this guy's getting deep. Where was I born or where was I from? This guy's getting a little Dr. Philosophical. To my ears, those two questions sound like the same thing. Maybe he was really hoping Dr. Phil would ask, where are you from? So he could say, oh, I just came from the Denny's down the block. And then the situation would just kind of end. But Phil McGraw will not make such a shrill faux pas, and he specifies exactly what he means.
Where are you born?
Thailand.
I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? I thought this guy was Mexican. I don't know if that makes him a liar or me a racist, but if it's the latter, I'll just blame it on the poor lighting. Besides, I don't see color. I see everybody as a white person.
But you've never been deported before?
You Dr. Phil. You Dr. Phil.
Yeah?
I don't know if it was only at this moment that he realized he was talking to Dr. Phil, or if he was carefully hiding this knowledge until the topic of deportation came up to use it as a diversion tactic. I personally am going to choose to believe that he had this McNawing feeling that he recognized this particular law enforcement officer from somewhere, and it finally clicked in his head, which explains the slight jubilation in his voice.
You Dr. Phil. You Dr. Phil.
He's like, oh, I get it. I'm fucking dreaming. This isn't real. Why would I be getting deported out of a sanctuary city by a TV psychologist from the 2000s? Okay, wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, you know, on TV.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I feel like Dr. Phil is feeling a bit of shame here.
Yeah?
And if we're being honest, he probably should. I'm fine with illegal immigrants who have committed serious crimes being deported, but a psychologist is supposed to, like, you know, help people fix their emotional and mental problems and not be the one to say, listen, brother, you're going back to Mexico. I know that Thailand thing is a lie. I have eyes, you know. If I ever get detained for a serious crime, I don't want to see fucking Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz or Chris Hansen. Well, I definitely don't want to see Chris Hansen asking me biographical questions as I'm being arrested. Just give me a normal police officer, please. I don't want to explain my side of the story to Ellen DeGeneres as she dances before me, mocking me.
Well, this is an example of sanctuary cities.
Oh, that's right. Dr. Phil isn't the only bald guy here. He's with Tom motherfucking Homan. Again, why? Why is Homelander here? I get why Homelander is here, but I don't get why Pop McCraw is with them. Sorry, I just wanted to make another boys reference, and Pop Claw was the only one that kind of matched. I personally would like to apologize for whatever Nightmare Fuel Photoshop edit I put in a corner there. Did you see it? Really take it in? Okay, good.
We got an illegal alien convicted of sex crimes involving children.
Ooh, this is supposed to be a lighthearted video. I probably should have watched this whole thing first. I can't really make any jokes about that. It would be a minor violation of my ethics. But with the context of what this guy did, this Thai man is a little less endearing to me.
He's walking the streets of Chicago. Again, the downfall, the problem with the sanctuary city, that people like us walking the street rather than local law enforcement working with federal agents. This is what we're dealing with. Yeah. You've been charged with crimes with children?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really? I get that there's a big need for nuance in 2025, and a big focus of this channel is to try to introduce some nuance and move away from binary and black and white thinking. But were you charged with sex crimes with children is a pretty binary yes or no question. I don't know if not really is really adding the type of nuance we're looking for in our post-truth society. I mean, it's not like Dr. Phil is even asking him if he did the crimes or not. He's just asking if he's been charged with them. So definitely doesn't leave any room for a not really. Even if this proud Mexican man has some type of weird story of, well, Dr. Phil, I was just peeing in a park at night and this child came out of nowhere and I was like, what an unfortunately felonious coincidence. He would still either have been charged or not charged with crimes with children. I don't know the law of every state, but I don't think you can just partially end up on the registry. Like it only has your first name or only shows half your face or only half your ethnicity. I don't think that's a thing.
And never been deported.
Well,
Let's take them in, process them, lock them up.
Got it, sir.
what was the point of that? Who was that made for? Why did this happen? What advantage did Dr. Phil bring to this situation? Do we better understand the mind of a Mexican sex offender? No. Do we learn anything about the crimes or how he got into the country? No. Do we learn anything about anything? No. We have Dr. Phil doing a brief pseudo-interrogation. Tom Homan gets to do a little song and dance about sanctuary cities, and then Homan gets to deliver a little line at the end there.
Let's take them in, process them, lock them up.
How many times did you practice that in the mirror, Tom? Let's take him in, process him, lock him up. No. Let's take him in, process him, lock him up. No. Let's take him in, process him, lock him up. That's it, Tom. We'll send them all back to the ranch.
This is who picks them up. This is who lures them out on the internet, and they disappear or they get raped and their lives change forever. And he shouldn't even be here, but he's doing this. But they don't raise their hand and say, hey, there's somebody that doesn't even have the right to be here that's preying upon our children, and they don't tell you about it.
Those are all very good points, Dr. Phil. I just don't understand why you're the one raising them. Look, Dr. Phil has been on Rogan. No, not Rogaine. He's definitely never been on that. And Jordan Peterson, and he has his own podcast where he's interviewed Donald Trump, and I'm fine with him expressing his socio-cultural and political views. But this team up with Tom Homan, this battle of the balds, is what I'm questioning. And I'm sure that dude is questioning it too back at his home in Ciudad Juarez. Wondering if he really was deported by fucking Dr. Phil or if he's still stuck in a shadow realm and he's gonna wake up at any moment in a cold sweat in his Chicago apartment. Look, if someone like Chris Hansen were here, that would at least make a bit of sense. Tom Homan would be handling the go back to Mexico angle, and Chris Hansen is handling the their angle. And together, it's kind of like a porque no te sientes ahí. And okay, I see why you're both kind of involved in this in some parted way. But Dr. Phil, I just don't get the crossover at all. It feels like we're turning deportation into a weird televised event filled with all the lurid spectacle and garish appeal that you'd often see in the show Dr. Phil, the same kitschy Nancy Grace-esque tabloid journalism that would titillate Gen X moms across the country.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
He dressed up like a girl. I thought it was funny at first. Now I certainly don't.
So in that sense, the what of it all kind of makes sense. If you had asked me what I thought would happen if you combined the sensationalistic and often exploitative nature of the Dr. Phil show with mass deportation, I guess this is exactly what I would have imagined. But the why of it all is still an inscrutable mystery to me. Side note, I was using ChatGPT to try to remember the name Nancy Grace, and I got dragged into a conversation with AI, as I am wont to do. Happens to the best of us. And I mentioned the Dr. Phil and Tom Homan crossover, and ChatGPT said, and I quote, "That's such a bizarre crossover. Dr. Phil trying to therapize immigration policy sounds wild. Thanks for validating me, ChatGPT. That does sound like a bizarre crossover, doesn't it? And it is pretty wild."
ICE saved children today. ICE saved children today. And it makes me angry. Governor Pritzker the other day went on the internet, social media, saying ICE was attacking our elementary school. He's scaring children. He's scaring the neighborhood, putting fear in the community. We're doing the exact opposite. We're saving children. Every sexual predator we arrest means more safe children.
Look, Mr. Homan, I agree with you about deporting criminal illegal immigrants. I'm down with the Vance revolution, and I like that you're removing sex offenders that shouldn't be in America in the first place. But what I really question is, do I need to see it? I don't think anyone really needs to see this. I don't need my mass deportation to be packaged up with television celebrities so I can sit back and be like, oh, Dr. Phil's about to send them back. Mr. Homan, Tom, can I call you Tom? If I can be real with you, I don't think that's healthy for me. I don't think that's healthy for you. I don't think that's healthy for America. But if it's gonna happen, hell, well, I guess I'll watch it. I'm only human, Tom. And I'm sure that dude is questioning it too, back at his home in Ciudad. Oh, that was right. Ciudad. Why is that just a hard word to say? Ciudad Juarez. And I'm sure that dude is questioning it too, back in his home. Bah! Ciudad Juarez. I can't say it. Ciudad Juarez.